I've made it clear if you take part in the wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, we will find you, arrest you, and put you behind bars. Today, I'm proud to announce that the Department of Justice has unsealed federal charges against another Tesla attacker. We've charged Cooper Frederick in the firebombing of a Tesla dealership that occurred on March 7th in Loveland, Colorado. All of these cases are a serious threat to public safety. Therefore, there will be no negotiating. We are seeking 20 years in prison. The crime was committed in Colorado, and thanks to the great investigative work by the FBI, the defendant was arrested in Plano, Texas. Let this be a warning. You can run, but you cannot hide. Justice is coming.
Intimidation is the most key tenet of Donald Trump's administration. They want to intimidate institutions, intimidate individuals, and intimidate anyone who is willing to oppose their administration. One of the loudest and most important voices in that opposition has been Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who just a couple of days ago was threatened by Pam Bondi and Donald Trump for calling out Elon Musk. She is once again facing a legal threat, now from Donald Trump's administration, just for delivering a brutal call-out in response to a MAGA reporter. It is absolutely nonsensical the way that Donald Trump's administration is trying to scare people out of calling them out, and we are going to get into all of it, and just the hypocrisy that is present throughout. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we get into Jasmine Crockett, I want to talk a lot about protest in this video, and we saw a great one out of Cory Booker tonight on the Senate floor.
And if I think it's a call for our country, I have to ask myself how I'm living these words. So tonight, I rise with the intention of getting in some good trouble. I rise with the intention of disrupting the normal business of the United States Senate for as long as I am physically able. I rise tonight because I believe sincerely that our country is in crisis. And I believe that not in a partisan sense, because so many of the people that have been reaching out to my office in pain, in fear, having their lives upended, so many of them identify themselves as Republicans.
So, as Senator Booker stated, he is on the Senate floor tonight, and probably into the morning, and late into the day, tomorrow, until he cannot stand anymore. This is exactly the type of energy we need out of Democrats. Taking this situation, this constitutional crisis, this assault on our democracy as seriously as we are. Folks are getting out in the streets, and of course, I'm going to talk more about that later in this video, but we need our elected officials doing exactly the same, especially when we see the Trump administration doing everything they can to suppress our protest. And we saw that with a really strange video that tees up this threat against Jasmine Crockett from Pam Bondi, right here.
I've made it clear if you take part in the wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, we will find you, arrest you, and put you behind bars. Today, I'm proud to announce that the Department of Justice has unsealed federal charges against another Tesla attacker. We've charged Cooper Frederick in the firebombing of a Tesla dealership that occurred on March 7th in Loveland, Colorado. All of these cases are a serious threat to public safety. Therefore, there will be no negotiating. We are seeking 20 years in prison. The crime was committed in Colorado, and thanks to the great investigative work by the FBI, the defendant was arrested in Plano, Texas. Let this be a warning. You can run, but you cannot hide. Justice is coming.
Donald Trump is not focused on the price of eggs. Donald Trump isn't focused on your rent, the stock market, or really how expensive everything is getting. Donald Trump is focused on making sure little Elon Musk's Teslas and his feelings are nice and protected. And so Pam Bondi is saying that anyone who even says a bad word about a Tesla, there was a woman who Elon is threatening to investigate for just flipping off a Tesla, that they are coming after them. And they're also apparently coming after Jasmine Crockett for just responding to the free press. In the latest example of how much they want to attack and intimidate, the DOJ is coming after Jasmine Crockett for the craziest reason ever. But to get that, you have to see this clip.
Hello, Congresswoman.
Shoveling horse manure. Well, that sounds like fun.
Wait, Congresswoman Crockett.
But it sounds.
Congresswoman Crockett, you were recently on a Tesla takedown call calling for violence on the
that's what it is
29th.
to be here, right?
Would you like to clarify your comments?
As you can see.
Congresswoman,
No,
will you
it's good to
condone
see.
will you condemn violence at the Tesla?
So you watch that video and think, pretty harmless, right? Jasmine Crockett is walking. A reporter gets in her personal space. She kind of just pushes the camera away, nothing more to it. But that's not what Donald Trump and Pam Bondi think. As we can see in this article right here, Jasmine Crockett's attack on right-wing reporter under review, Trump DOJ official claims. Acting U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., Ed Martin made clear on Monday that he would weigh whether to charge Jasmine Crockett with a crime in response to a MAGA podcaster's claim that she assaulted him on Capitol Hill last week. The questionable incident, which is neither questionable nor an incident, unfolded on Tuesday as Charles Downs, a reporter affiliated with right-wing firebrand Laura Loomer, shoved his camera phone into Crockett's face. The Texas Democrat can be seen in the clip, shared by Loomer and others in MAGA world, appearing to stretch out her hand and cover the camera, as she continues walking and chatting with a Republican senator before the clip abruptly ends. As I've said from day one, no one is above the law, except for January 6th insurrectionists, Martin said Monday in a statement on X. The matter is currently under review by law enforcement authorities. If it is referred to the U.S. Attorney's Office, we will follow the proper procedures to determine whether charges are appropriate. His comments followed Downs' announcement on X that a very big development happened Monday after he filed a police report last week with Capitol Police for assault, battery, and attempted theft of his cell phone. I just left a formal with the United States Capitol Police, Downs told his followers in a video posted on Twitter, which was shared by Martin. I had to fill out some forms. Talk about the horrific incident where Congresswoman Crockett reached for my phone, scratching me, just because I asked her a question about her involvement in a Tesla takedown. So now, my formal complaint has officially been moved to the United States Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C., and we will see what happens next. Really? Donald Trump's DOJ. Donald Trump's state attorneys are threatening to arrest and charge Jasmine Crockett because she pushed a phone out of her personal space? Oh, this must be the worst assault we've ever seen in the halls of our Capitol. Oh, no. What about January 6th? Of course, they don't care. They don't care. All they want to do is try and intimidate. And that's exactly what happened last time. Jasmine Crockett was threatened legally by the Trump administration, just for speaking out against Tesla. Remember that? This clip right here.
So Pam Bondi, if you have an issue with terrorism, maybe you should talk to your boss about locking back up those guys that he let out that participated in January 6th.
When Pam Bondi, though, says, tread carefully, what does that even mean?
Yeah. All it means is that she's attempting to get me to say, oh, I'm going to be scared and I'm just not going to say anything, because they are willing to literally break the law. I mean, that's what we've seen them do. They are ignoring court orders. They are ignoring what our own laws are. When we look at things such as impoundment, things like that, this entire administration is rogue. And this isn't about partisanship. I keep trying to tell people that we are living in the time of good versus evil, right versus wrong. And right now, when we are looking at the black letter of the law and they are deciding, I'm just going to ignore it, then they are wrong. That is clear as day. And right now, they are going after anyone who decides that they will challenge them, whether it's the judges that are sitting on the benches, whether it is lawyers that have decided that they were going to represent their clients to the best of their ability, and most of them won against Trump and his administration. Basically, they are trying to get rid of all voices of dissent.
Jasmine Crockett was not telling people to go throw Molotov cocktails through Tesla windows. And as I always say, you don't need to do that, because they blow up on their own. She was advocating for people using their First Amendment right, as long as they have it under this Trump administration, to speak out, which is what Donald Trump is afraid of most. He is afraid of protest. He is afraid of mobilization. And I said I wanted to talk later in this video about what we need to do to protest. And I want to do that right now. Because the largest single day of collective action, the single largest protest since Donald Trump was inaugurated, is coming up on April 5th, on Saturday. Protests are scheduled in cities across the nation. Donald Trump is going after our Social Security, our Medicare, our jobs, our tax dollars. And everyone deserves what they have paid into in our government. That is Medicaid. That is Medicare. That is Social Security. These are the programs that keep people alive, safe, and healthy, and Elon is going after them. He is going after our livelihoods. No matter what issues matter to you, they're going after all of it. We all have a dog in this fight. The things you care about most. That is what Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and congressional Republicans want to take away from you. We all know this. But what I feel like we don't know sometimes is that we still have agency in this fight. We can push back. That is why I want you to get involved in Hands Off, this nationwide day of collective action. Protest in whatever city, town, or state, wherever you are living across this country, you can get involved. I'm going to have links below this video. Of course, I'd like you to watch the end of the video, because we're going to hear more from Cory Booker. But I want you to sign up. I want you to get involved. It is important that we realize and enjoy this community that we have. And I use that word enjoy very, very intentionally. Like, I know it's tough right now. But there are so many of us who want to build community, who want to build organizing power to fight back. And while times are just so difficult, tough, and dark, I want us to be able to look around and see how many folks are exactly like you, fighting back. That's why I'd love to see some of y'all at these protests. We all have to be engaged. It's what Cory Booker is talking about in the rest of this clip right here.
John Lewis died in 2020, in July, at a time that it was Donald Trump's first term in office. And he did what Congress people did, but he also did some really extraordinary things to fight for health care. My friend Chris Murphy knows about that. He was there when John Lewis did a open Facebook chats, not in this chamber or in the House chamber. He sat on the steps and people were there. I remember when he did a sit-in. They had to shut the cameras off on him. He got in good trouble on the House side, too. And so I start tonight thinking about him. I've been thinking about him a lot during these last 71 days. Get in good trouble, necessary trouble, help redeem the soul of America, and had to ask myself, if he's my hero, how am I living up to his words? I think Democrats and Republicans have made a lot of mistakes. No side has a monopoly on the truth. No side has been perfect servants of this country. But what's happened in the last 71 days is a patent demonstration of a time where John Lewis's call to everyone has, I think, become more urgent and more pressing.
We need people willing to fight right now. I want you all to be a part of that. I'm certainly going to be a part of that.
Right at the beginning,
like
right
I said, I have all these links below. Well, I don't have all these links. I have one specific link that sends you to a couple of different places where you can get involved in this day of protest against Donald Trump. This disgusting, disgraceful, unconstitutional, criminal, immoral, I could list all the words possible, but broken administration. We have to fight back. We're going to on this show, and you are as well. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.